There's a Franciscan priest that I know who was appointed to a rural parish in western Kansas in the United States. And in the vestibule of that church, there's preserved an old wooden pegboard. It has a peg for each pew in the church. The German immigrants called it Die Stocktafel. It is a relic from the days of pew rent, when the church pews were auctioned. The back pew went to the highest bidder, the front pew to the lowest. And so the priest who was appointed there, he asked one of the old farmers there why the back rows were valued so highly. He said, tongue-in-cheek, humility. The gospel says to take the last place, not the front seats of honor. The last shall be first. He who humbles himself shall be exalted. And the old farmers were willing to pay for their humility. Saint Augustine said that there are only 3 necessary virtues for a Christian: humility, humility, and humility. Yet, humility remains the most elusive of all the virtues. It is a paradox. Those who think of themselves as humble almost certainly are not. In the gospel parable, the places of honor at table illustrate the paradox of humility. Those who assume the higher places will be embarrassed. Those who take the lowest place will be invited to a higher honor. Yet, to take the lowest place as a scheme to be invited higher is not humility, but pride, a paradox. Although humility is enigmatic and difficult to define, all of us have known people who were truly humble. When the Supreme Court struggled with a definition of pornography, Justice Brennan offered this classic remark: I may not be able to define it, but I know it when I see it. The comparison may be very unfortunate, yet one can say the same of humility. We may not be able to define humility, but we know it when we see it. In today's church, we often hear about justice and peace and love, but we seldom hear about humility. We are told to develop our full potential and to assert our rights: civil rights, women's rights, patients' rights, students' rights. Fees must fall, yes, and seniors' rights, all kinds of rights. In our culture, which so values individual rights, where do we find humility? Lest you think that humility is a lost virtue in our age, I offer a few examples. Humility is the mother who makes do with less fashionable clothing so that her children will not be out of style. She is the best dressed woman in the kingdom of God. Humility is the father who forgoes a round of golf to attend his children's school concert. He is better than par as a Christian. Humility is the mother who, after a long day at work, prepares dinner for her family and takes the last serving after the others have had the best choice portions. She will always be first at the table of the Lord. Humility is the husband who concedes a trivial argument to promote peace in the family. He will always be right before God. Humility is the brother who allows his little sister her choice of TV programs. Humility is the student who congratulates another who scored higher. It is the athlete who does not rejoice in the error of his opponent. They are the real winners of eternal glory. The opposite of humility in our age is sensitivity. Most of us are just plain too sensitive. We take offense at every casual remark and any trivial gesture. To be sensitive to an endless list of socially correct words or deeds is nothing but pride, thinly disguised pride. It is the insistence on being first. The old farmer said that the back pews were crowded with the humble. And the priest who was appointed there, he suspected they may have had other motives, and so he asked the old farmer sarcastically, "Are there that many humble people in this parish?" The old farmer understood well this Christian paradox, so he answered with equal sarcasm, "This parish is proud of its humility."